Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Zemo, the dad in DPS, and today we are back with another episode of The Good, The Scrap, and The Script, a series where I review weapons I've found and or made in Appalachia and see how well they do. Now, with the new patch, there is a bunch of new explosive energy weapons to test, and today's one is definitely one I have been wanting to for a long while. Either way, if you enjoy this type of content, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's get on with it. Now, today's weapon is Welcome Dismembers. This is a two-shot. Bullets explode for weapon damage. Weapons break 50% slower. Enclave Plasma Rifle. We've got an automatic barrel on here because it doesn't work with a flamer barrel. And it's going to be interesting to test. Now, as you've seen, we're on our full health build. This is currently what I'm using. Don't put a huge amount of stock in it because the build on this character is not complete. We don't have all the legendary perks we need, which this means we don't have all the, effects and all the different perks and special stats that we've got. But this is what we're going to be using today, and we're going to see how well it does. So, as you guys know, two-shot explosive is kind of one of my favourite guilty pleasures. Now, I'm not going to say that it's the best version of this weapon, but it certainly does do the job. Now, from a little bit of experimentation and using this thing, the best way to use it is kind of burst fire the damn thing. And what I would say is, it is not as overpowered and broken as things like the Handmade and the Fixer. Because the main problem it's got is if you try and use it in VATS, while it will be able to get the hits in, it uses AP up like no tomorrow. It is not very good at getting rid of that AP usage. So in theory, the AP reduction in that last slot could be a better effect. But it is very usable in a sense that you can just manually aim it and shoot it that way. So there is kind of advantages and disadvantages to using this weapon in general. And what I would say is if you're looking just for raw damage output and you don't mind getting too close to your enemies, then the Flamer variant would be the better option, but explosive will not work with that, which is the real problem. So you kind of have to judge it based on what you want, whether you want the explosion effect or you want the Flamer kind of effect. And I'm actually quite happy with either. I think both are incredibly viable and usable, but at the same time, I think it's just different niches. This is, if you are very fragile and don't want to get too close to your enemies, this would be a better choice. But it is a lot harder to just manually fire than using VATS. So there is ways that you could optimize it in VATS and make it a lot more broken at distance for definite, using coffee and all manner of different things. As with all of our videos, we will come to Jeff and see how well this weapon does against him. So we'll unload some AP into his head, and then we're just going to proceed to fire a bunch of shots in. You see, in terms of killing Jeff, so that's not too bad. It's doing some decent damage, taking him down fairly quickly. Albeit, I would say that your other, main kind of rifles would do it a lot quicker, but at the same time, it did it, and it did it relatively easily. Alrighty, now we come to the Mirelurk Queen. Now, as you're seeing, as we shoot into her, one clip takes about a quarter of her health off, roughly. Just going to keep shooting those legs and trying to get her on the ground. Now, this is part of the crux of this weapon's kind of real issues, is that it breaks relatively quickly, which is the main reason I have that damage durability increase on there, the 50% reduction in how quick it breaks, because it will break relatively quickly. Now, I have used this weapon a chunk to just fart around and test before we made the video, so it isn't just from this video that its durability has been used, but it is a case of that it does break quick in comparison to a lot of other weapons. And look at this Mirelurk thing, you can't even kill this character. So, I mean, I wouldn't really recommend that you're using this weapon to take down Mirelurk Queens on your own. It's not really a big boy killer in that sense, but it does get the job done. You can use it to cripple the crap out of the legs and then knock her on the ground. So it is viable, but it uses a lot of ammo up, and it's just not really that useful for that. And with that out of the way, we come to expeditions. Now, when it comes to taking on the overgrown I think the big ones, you're going to have not a lot of issues. They go down relatively quickly, you get a decent amount of ammo back. The small guys, well, they are like average human enemies, so they die relatively quickly when you're shooting. So I don't think you're going to have any problems with them. The main problem is, like, Overgrown are just a pain in the butt. And there's a thing going on in, at least I've found in this mode, where you're not really gaining your AP back, so it can be difficult in that sense. That is a bug. It is definitely not how things are meant to be working, but you're seeing you can kill the Overgrown fairly effectively with this and get your ammo back. However, when you get to the later stages, when you're at the humanoid enemies, you're going to find this is where this weapon really shines in comparison in terms of ammo regeneration. I mean, look at this. Look at how much ammo we are getting back in quick succession. It is very good for damaging humans. It just absolutely rinses them. And if you bring this thing to expeditions, you are not going to have a lot of trouble. And you've optimized your build for like AP regeneration and AP cost. This is probably going to be a lot easier for you to just AP through, but I'm not optimized on this character. It's not perfect. You're seeing, like, yeah, they go down really quickly, and we have nearly got double the amount of ammo we came in with almost immediately from this place. And there's a person down there to murder. As a result, this is going to be a very good weapon for you to bring in here. It does decent damage. It's just, it would be better if it could be used in VATS consistently. So its AP cost is a bit of a pain in the butt, but you can mitigate that a little bit. You can have like the reflex sight on here, which I don't have on this version. There is ways for you to reduce that AP cost further, but I just don't have it on this version of the weapon. That's the thing. So in VATS, yeah, it would be an absolute beast of a weapon if you could use it more consistently. There's also kind of thoughts to the mind of, if I put a sniper barrel on it, it would probably be incredibly damaging, incredibly dangerous as well. That is also an option, but I quite like it in this version because it's a little bit underused, and I do feel like it is viable. So yeah, that was today's video with the new semi-legacy Enclave Plasma machine gun, and I thought it was relatively fun to use. It's definitely different. It definitely takes some getting used to, and it does have its downsides. Its recoil isn't the greatest. It does kind of ramp up the way, and it does have a problem with durability, but that's why you want that effect on the bottom there. But there is other ways to use it as well. I could put the sniper barrel on it and use it that way, and that would potentially do some decent damage and be more viable as a rifleman weapon. It's really hard to say at this early stage, but I found that this version was fun to use. Now, if you enjoy these types of videos and there's any type of weapon you guys would love me to review, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time in the Wasteland.
It's a nuclear pop, stabbing and swooping wild like a lock. Testing weapons, bang bang sparks, radiation hum high and glowing stark. Swinging in down Appalachia Trail, Mothman legend cocktails prevail. Strip for the traders, scrap on sale, building forts, raiders on our tail. Oh, the good, the scrap and the screep, wandering wasteland, loose on the lip. Barter and hustle ain't just a quip, survivors dance, got a weapon on the hip. Oh, the good, the scrap and the screed, wandering wasteland, loose on the lip. Barter and hustle ain't just a quip, survivors dance, got a weapon on the hip. Crafting stations, tinker's delight, fixing shotguns, new rifles tight. Ghouls round the corner, gotta fight, day turns to night, it'll flash so bright.